Hello, everybody. This is another study of Oahspe.com podcast video, copyright for YouTube. This is part 3 of Orachnebuahgalah, light years distance. This is about the Orachnebuahgalah plate of Oahspe. The travel of the solar family can be timed upon the Creator's clock and features in future events foretold with mathematical accuracy by one possessed of spiritual insight. I'll read that again. The travel of the solar family can be timed upon the Creator's clock and future events foretold with mathematical accuracy by one possessed of spiritual insight. That's from page 149 of 7 Years That Changed the World, 1941 to 1948, by Wing Anderson, published in 1940. And we see the animation of the solar system traveling through nebulous regions in the galaxy. And that's from the website www.djsadhu.com, dsadu.com. Light years travel of the solar phalanx equals years, duration, time, and distance, space, in parts out of 1,000, 1 to 1,000 ratio on the Orachnebuahgalah plate. The 1,000th ratio of light years traveled to one number or year on the Orachnebuahgalah plate is equivalent to 1 to 1,000 rule of the Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, chapter 7, verse 17. That's where you can find that 1 to 1,000. The numbers years on the Orachnebuahgalah plate are numbered from 1 to 1,000, which is equal to the ratio of light years distance traveled by the solar system to the numbers on the Orachnebuahgalah plate. To convert light years traveled to Orachnebuahgalah numbers, multiply by 1,000, 1 to 1,000, 1 to 1,000 ratio. 0.048 light years traveled times 1,000 equals 48 piece on the Orachnebuahgalah plate of Oahspe. Orachnebuahgalah plate is connected to Savorkum, the sub-galactic orbit of the solar system, and light years traveled is connected to prophecy. Oahspe Book of Knowledge, Part 4, Verse 14. Tae, or Tay, said, "To find the roadway in the earth's travel is to find what hath been and what will be." To find the roadway in the earth's travel is to find what hath been and what will be. Orachnebuahgalah plate is connected to Savorkum, and light years traveled is connected to prophecy. In other words, what hath been and what will be. Light years traveled in the roadway of the solar phalanx. The roadway of the earth's travel is to find what hath been and what will be. Calculating light years distance of Savorkum equals find the roadway in the earth's travel. Calculating light years distance of Savorkum is to find where on the roadway is the earth in its travel. Oahspe Book of Knowledge, Part 2, Verse 28. Tay said, verse 32, "Yeah, I have measured the stars in the firmament." Verse 33, "I have measured the light and computed the time of its coming." Measured the light and computed the time of its coming equals calculating light years distance. measuring the light and computing the time of its coming equals calculating light years distance, which I showed you right here. And I showed you how that's connected to the Orachnebuahgalah plate in my previous videos. And I showed you how mathematically accurate it is. And it's based on a mathematical astronomical code, a hidden mathematical astronomical code to prophecy that I discovered on August 11th, 2014, and have shared this with the world. And I don't believe any other book, the Bible, the Quran, or any other spiritual book that you can name has this accurate mathematical code to prophecy in it. But this was revealed. The information is in the book of Oahspe. It was revealed in the book of Oahspe. And right there, I have the blackboard where I wrote the mathematical calculations and equations related to the hidden astronomical mathematical code to Orachnebuahgalah. Savorcum equals radius, which equals pi times diameter. The circumference of a circle equation is the same equation for a Savorcum. And light years distance is synchronized and connected to the numbers on the Orachnebuahgalah plate. Above calculations equals hidden mathematical astronomical code to prophecy, Orachnebuahgalah. On February 14, 2019 at 9:16 a.m., Michael W. wrote, and I went over with him this, and I had him use his calculator to verify all the numbers. And I showed him the historical manifestations. And anyone else can do the same thing to verify what I've spoken about on this video and my previous two videos. They can verify this with a calculator, and they can click on the links I have for the historical manifestations, and they can verify this. And Michael W. went on to say, my review of the Orachnebuahgalah prophecy plate. Last Sunday evening, I was treated to a remarkable discovery and revelation concerning one of Oahspe's most unusual mysteries, the Orachnebuahgalah prophecy plate, standing for Oracle Nebula Earth Galaxy. That's according to me. And according to me, that is what the Orachnebuahgalah means, Oracle Nebula Earth Galaxy. Michael W. went on to say, fellow Oahspean Michael James went over with me set by set Fellow Oahspean Michael James went over with me set by set, figure by figure, as I used my calculator, and unraveled this astrological and prophetic chart to my utter amazement and surprise. This chart has always been an enigma to many, including myself, who have read Oahspe, and a challenge to those who attempt to read the Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy in Oahspe. Yet by using my calculator through mathematics, I was able to see important events deciphered with such clarity as to make the use of any zodiacal chart reading look like a child's exercise. By using astronomical light-year figures of the distance of Polaris, Savorcum, the sub-galactic orbit of our solar system around Polaris, and figures of a 3,000-year arc cycle, etc., Mr. James was able to open up before me, through mathematics, the key to calculating important historic and futuristic events. He has cracked the code of this prophetic tablet, and I doubt there has been a more important discovery in recent years. A pity it will probably go largely unnoticed. A true loss for the planet. What a revelation. Michael Harris. Scientific theories are testable and make falsifiable predictions. The defining characteristic of all scientific knowledge, including theories, is the ability to make falsifiable or testable predictions. I believe that is what I just did with the light years mathematic calculations and the Orachnebuahgalah plate and the numbers and words on the Orachnebuahgalah plate. I tested my theory and I believe it passed. And to those that have done the calculations and seen the historical manifestations, they also believe that it has passed the test. And therefore, his predictions were not falsified. They were proven to be true. Now, it says that theories do not have to be perfectly accurate to be scientifically useful. Although what I've just shown you with the hidden mathematical astronomical code to prophecy on the Orachnebuahgalah plate, the light years distance calculations have been pretty close to perfectly accurate. In Oahspe Book of Knowledge, Part 4, or Chapter 4, Verse 14, TAE said, "To find the roadway in the earth's travel is to find what hath been and what will be." To find the roadway in the earth's travel is to find what hath been and what will be. That statement is related to Orachnebuahgalah plate is connected to Savorcum, and light years traveled is connected to prophecy. Light years traveled is connected to prophecy. To find the roadway in the earth's travel, light years traveled, is to find what had been and what will be. It's travel. And to find how far the earth is traveled on the roadway, which determines what hath been and what will be. In other words, prophecy. Oahspe Book of Knowledge, Part 2, or Chapter 2, Verse 28, TAE, Tay or Tai, said, verse 32, "Yeah, I have measured the stars in thy firmament." Verse 33, "I have measured the light and computed the time of its coming." Measured the light and computed the time of its coming equals calculating light years distance. A light year is a way of measuring distance. A light year is a way of measuring distance, equals measuring the roadway in the earth's travel, equals to find what hath been and what will be.